Okay, so at this point we know that training legs very, very hard, ideally to failure, is extremely important for testosterone secretion. And not just doing this as a one-off like a lot of studies do, but incorporating it as part of your lifestyle. Do this along with all the other things like cholesterol, vitamin D, sleep, is guaranteed to increase your testosterone, assuming you're not screwing up massively in some other area, alcohol, weed, whatever. Leg training is extremely important. So then the next question becomes, well, one of the next questions becomes, how long should you rest in between sets? Quite a few people have asked this question, especially on Instagram. So I'm going to answer that today. I'm getting absolutely harassed by all the flies today. Something about this weather, this time of year, all the flies seem to think that you have something. Like, I've not got anything on, but so if I keep whacking my face, that's basically what's happening. But in terms of rest times, the first thing is that you want to be training your legs twice a week. Once is not ideal. It's better than nothing, of course. It's a lot better than nothing. 3 times a week, you might get away with it under certain circumstances, but chances are it's probably too much. Your cortisol levels and stress hormones tend to be too high. To get away with that, you would have to be young, eating the perfect diet, and possibly the biggest one of all, you would have to be sleeping perfectly every single night. I don't know how many people that applies to. Even I don't sleep perfectly every night, so 3 times a week just seems to be a bit too much, a bit too risky. Twice a week seems to be the sweet spot for the vast majority of people, and this is twice a week, very intense training to almost failure or close to it, RPE 9, oh, for God's sake, so that there's the required stimulus, especially on compound movements, that breaks a large surface area of muscles down, or it stimulates them, let's put it that way. So in terms of rest times in between sets, it's variable. That's the truth. It depends on the exercise, and it's not the bottom line. So the bottom line is intensity. So the truth is, on something like a leg press, this is what I found, and this is what I do, and it works. Something like leg press, you could have how it works with drop sets and rest pause sets is the intensity is extremely high for multiple sets. And what is your rest time for a drop set? 0. You can have 0 rest time, and that is okay, especially on something like a leg press. Something like a rest pause set, what's the rest time there? 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Maybe on the first rest pause set it's 5 seconds, the next one's 15 seconds, something like that. Very, very short rest time. Why does this work? Because the intensity is extremely high. As long as your form is still good, you're good. So that works really well. The only exercise I would say that you want to be really careful doing this kind of thing with is deadlifts. Deadlifts, you want the RPE to be more like 9, unless you're doing like really high rep stuff. Stiff leg deadlifts for 25 reps, that can also work, guys. I wouldn't be doing that all the time. You want some heavier stuff in there as well, but it can work. Generally speaking, with deadlifts, you're more likely to get injured. I've seen this a lot, including with guys who have good technique. It's just a slightly riskier exercise in general. With deadlift, you probably want to have a bit more of a rest time, purely from the injury standpoint. If you get injured and you're out for 3 months or 6 months, nothing else really matters in this conversation, because you can't train at all. So you want to avoid that at all costs. Deadlifts and very, very heavy back squats, I would say, as well. I wouldn't be doing RPE 10. I would be doing absolute failure. I'd be like 1 rep shy, and I would have more of a rest time. Again, because if you're training to absolute exhaustion, like if you're really training that intensely, sometimes you will lose control of your core a little bit. Sometimes you'll lose tightness in your back, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. That's where the injuries happen. So I would avoid that because it's just not worth it. So deadlifts and heavy back squats, I would say take you 3 to 4 minutes rest time, however long you need to feel like you can get back into that next set and give it your all in a controlled manner. So those exercises, I would say 3 to 4 minutes, basically. Something like a leg press or a hack squat, something where the machine controls your movement. It's very, very difficult to get injured leg pressing, like you've got to do something really wrong. Under that circumstance, I would say you don't need any rest time because you can just do drop sets. And because of the nature of the machine and the changing weights, you can just take the pin out and put it higher or whatever the case is. Do your next set, do the same thing. It's very logistically easy to do drop sets. Doing drop sets when you have to take plates off the bar is a nightmare. Even if you've got other people with you, it's kind of impossible to do true drop sets. So the answer is, it depends on the exercise. Some exercises you can do 0 rest time. Some exercises you're going to need some rest. I can't advise you to take 0 rest. Now, if you'd like more testosterone training tips, the full whammy, check out this video here. I'll give you the whole detailed kind of analysis of it. And this is kind of how I train as well. If you want a similar physique to me, check out this video. I'll give you all the details.